Yeah.
Hold on. Let me do this.
I say Castle's frozen. Yeah.
Take two.
But we still live though, right?
We still live now. There we go. What's good, fellas? What's up, man?
Happy Saturday to you.
Take three.
Action.
Take three.
How much some people get paid? I want to know.
I'm pretty sure they get paid pretty well, bro.
That's all they doing.
That's all they do. They got to be super strong though. It's like you got to do that. That's your job. You're right on super strong.
I know it's at least five figures.
Oh man,
I ain't looking into the right career.
Like, do you go to school to that? You take a class.
My dad used to do this for 20 years, so I'm taking up for him.
It's a family business. No, man, I can tell y'all a good spirits, man. This is gonna be a good show. Shout out to everybody checking in. Without further ado, let's get right on into it.
Welcome to Let's Be Real Sports Podcast, presented by Let's Be Real Media. Watch us live on YouTube and Twitter, and follow us on TikTok and Instagram at LBR_media. Also, subscribe to us on any podcasting platform.
What's going on? BLJ here, the best hype man in the NBA. Man, I'm here with Let's Be Real. Tune in. Hello.
Let's be real.
There we go. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real. I am your host, Tav Shakir. Black and blessed, man. We got a couple more weeks for Black History Month, but again, shout out to all the Black excellence we've been seeing. Shout out to my co-host we got. What up, Trevor?
Yo, what's good, everybody? This your guy Trev, and as y'all can see with my tagline, we stand up, Memphis, because we stand up like for real. Because Jesus Christ, what is going on in the city right now?
And of course, the All-Star Weekend. We got All-Star Lido in this thing. What's going on, my brother?
All-Star Lido in the game. Gigi Jackson in this thing. You know, I'm here. What's going on with everybody? Happy Saturday.
And of course, we got Feedy. This would not be a pod without him. What's up, my brother?
Yeah, and I thought about not even being on here because, I mean, Drake ain't coming to Memphis. Why do I need to, right?
Hey, man.
That was a little too soon. I'm sorry.
That's a little messed up, bro. That's it. But man, make sure. Well, of course, we got my homie Ryan. Shout out to Ryan. Hey, finally dropped the pod. Make sure y'all go check him out. What are you at? First episode, he called it the Let's Be Real train. So again, I guess shout out to the Let's Be Real train. Definitely to have you on board with us, Ryan. Salute to all the other podcasts of the network. 3 the Harder Way. We will not be recording tomorrow. We're going to be enjoying the All-Star Weekend as we should be, as the rest of you all should be. I mean, we still gonna enjoy it. You can't get that face and have All-Star Lido on your name. Like, come on, bro. Enjoy it.
I'm prove that. Heck no, y'all don't get a break, brother. Heck no. That is
well, you know what? You know,
no, let them have a break. I'm talking about the enjoy the All-Star Weekend. Like the worst of the worst is gonna be on Sunday. So let's.
I don't like that.
I'm still standing on business that 200 is gonna be scored in one of these All-Star games. I can feel it.
Yes.
It's probably gonna happen. It's probably gonna happen. Like I'm looking at prize picks. I'm like, should I really bet more on most of these outside of Jokic because he ain't gonna play much? But I don't know, but we'll see. But again, 3 the Hardaway will be back next week. Now, again, shout out to the Jeans Report. Make sure y'all go check him out. He's back. And of course, again, Ryan Harris with the Jump Pass episode 1 is officially out. Make sure y'all go tap in with my brother. Let's get into the episode, fellas. So, of course, right before we get into sports, me and Trev had a good talk. And we was talking about wrestling. He was saying wrestling back. Wrestling got that feeling, like we used to have with the enthusiasm we used to watch it with, of course, growing up. And we were talking about, I was talking like why? He was like, The Rock. I was like, dang, yeah, The Rock probably busy. Like he'll be doing this, and Trevor was like, he'll probably be doing the UFL, the XFL soon, excuse me. And I'm like, damn, it'll probably be cool just to be The Rock for a day, right? So I'm like, I can ask my fellas on here, plus myself, if you can trade places with anybody for a day, whether it's celebrity, athlete, whatever, just for a day, who would you want to trade places with just for a day? Trade lives was on some Freaky Friday shit.
I'll go first. I'm going with LeBron. But from the standpoint of like being able to witness your kids, your son play basketball or any sport, or them to do anything at a high level, right? Him being able to be the all-star that he is, him having the name that is LeBron James, right? But like to see your kids excel and do something really well, coming after you, going to a real big time program like USC, and things like that. Like that's why I would want to be LeBron James for a minute, like taking basketball completely away from it. Like I cannot wait for the time that Eva, and we're expecting another child here soon. I cannot wait for the time I can just be like, no, I'm finna go take off work and I'm finna go watch my kid play, or I'm about to go watch my son or daughter go do X, Y, and Z, and I'm finna chill and I'm finna be the loudest MF in that jump for real. Like that's finna be me. So I can't wait. I can't wait for the time to come.
All right, what else I got, Mike?
Let me be Jimmy Butler. That's funny.
Or Lou Williams. Lemon Pepper Lou.
Lemon Pepper Lou. Oh man,
that's nice.
Man, this is a tough one, but honestly, and this may be weird just because of the platform we on. I'd rather be Uncle Shannon for a day, man.
Dang, that's a good one.
That's just because honestly, truthfully, I believe Shannon Sharp is really on top of not just sports media, but in the whole pop culture industry as a whole. Just was platform Club Shay Shay, just allowing whoever he has on there just to come on there, be themselves and things of that nature. Of course, he has First Take. Of course, he does his thing with ESPN and things of that nature. But just what he's done and how and the path that he's taken since, of course, he retired from the NFL to get to where he is today, on top of the media platform, on top of the media world for that matter. I think I could do that for a day. So let me get Uncle Shannon.
I like that. He set the tone for the year, man. Again, he set the tone for the year. Just beefing with all our favorite comedians, which is neither here nor there. But shit, my bad. Okay, Leo.
I was just gonna add to what Trevor said. Like another thing that I recognize and truly appreciate about Shannon is his faith to say, like, I'm stepping away from this, and because I'm stepping away from this, I understand that God has better for me. And so, like, to walk away from the Skip Bayless of the world, to have his own podcast, to be able to do that, then do First Take, to what Trevor already said, like, that's GOAT status, bro. Like, that part necessarily doesn't get talked about, but he's a GOAT for that for sure. And he came up on a huge bag.
Yeah.
It's like it's inspiring for me because of like my situations of the past, and it's like no matter where Shannon goes, he owned his shit for the rest of his life. So that's why it's like for me to pour into Let's Be Real, it's like it's beneficial for me, but to look at somebody like a Shannon Sharp, it's a blessing.
Yeah, I'll take a coin flip here. I'm sorry, fellas. I was really trying to decide like which way I'm gonna go. One is going to be non-celebrity, and one is going to be celebrity. So I'll start with the non-celebrity. Whoever the fuck is over interest rates in the United States of America, if I could be you for a day and reduce that,
yes,
okay?
Sir.
Because I mean, these interest rates are out of control all across the board. You talking about houses, cars, steak. Everybody's rates is ridiculous. So I would lower that for sure because it would give people don't understand. I've said this before on Schooling with Sheedy. Low key, we're still in slavery, right? Blacks are in slavery because we were told we got to go to school. You go to school, get them student loans. Nobody's paying back the student loans. And now you're handcuffed. You can't get the houses that you really want. So I would say the interest rates, whoever's over the interest rates is one. That's my non-celebrity. My actual celebrity, actually, man, it's always been Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is talented in every platform he's ever done, whether it was his comedy show, his stand-up, movies. He can sing, right? He can act. Like, he's very multi-talented. He even, impersonates people. That man, I mean, of course, recently what he's done is, that was on him, mental health, stuff like that. But all of that, man, Jamie Foxx is like my GOAT of celebrities, to be honest, because of how many different facets he can actually be a part of. I can even see him going for a Tony if he really wanted to be honest.
Dang, shit, that's a good one because he's always been in my like renaissance, man. Like him and Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, those two are like the guys. It's like you can put them in any situation, anywhere, and they're gonna thrive in them. So I love that answer. I love that one for sure.
Would you rather for your ass right there, Donald Glover or Jamie Foxx?
Sheesh. But no, might be and it actually tied to our next topic, which of course is the Super Bowl. We gotta cover that. But mine will be the artist who should be performing next year's Super Bowl, and that's Chris Brown. I've heard that he walks around and you can just tell he's in his own zone. He dance like he walk and dance at the same time. That's what somebody told me. And I'm like, to have that style, to be in your own zone, your own world like that, and to be one of the GOATs to me, like music wise, performance wise, like you got it all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lil Dicky who was able to do that, I guess, successfully, unsuccessfully. But like Chris Brown is like the GOAT. And then you got 3 beautiful kids. So it's like, shit, I could be a dad for a day with all the money in the world. I ain't got no stress. Let me be Chris Brown for a day. So
I don't know about
I don't know about that.
Okay.
He's been stressed a couple times.
You gotta get Wayne.
Because you don't want to be fumbling. You don't want to be fumbling the bag that is Rihanna. You don't want to be doing that.
Okay.
That's true. Hey, Mike. You know the joke going around with Jamie Foxx as well is that he ain't seen a black woman since he was next to Fancy on the Jamie Foxx show. So
that's tough.
And she's still fine, by the way.
Yes, she is. Lord Jesus.
She's on a show that I watch with my wife, of course. But she's fine, and her. Anyways, let me just continue.
What else do you hear?
Let's get into it, man, for sure. Trevor, we gotta talk more about the Lil Wayne topic for sure. But of course, let's move on to flowers real quick. Let's give flowers. Of course, today's Michael Jordan birthday, but up under Michael Jordan. Shout out to my mom. Happy birthday to my mom. I'd be a terrible son. I'd be a terrible son if I went this podcast without showing her the love and respect that she deserves. So again, happy birthday, Mom. That's definitely who get my first flowers. And then Michael Jordan. I got any flowers?
I got some sympathy.
Just
flowers.
to go. What's up?
I got some sympathy flowers, man, and we'll get to it when we talk about it. But I gotta give some sympathy flowers to Steve Wilkes for basically being that's the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. For basically being scapegoated. We'll talk about everything with that as we talk about the Super Bowl. Because I'll just leave it at that because we'll get into it when we get to the Super Bowl. So yeah, my sympathy flowers goes out to you, Steve Wilkes, because you didn't deserve what happened to you to happen to you.
I'll go next. Mine is for Caitlin Clark. If you've been living under the rock, you would or would not know that she has recently become the all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball.
Yes,
but not only did she do that, she did that with a 49-point performance. Whew. She did that literally. I counted about 4 or 5 shots from the logo in form, brother. Like literally probably one of the better scorers I've ever seen in my entire life, male or female. So I think she's definitely worth some flowers on this show.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I can't wait. I want to have a discussion about that one, but we'll have that later on. But shout out to her for sure. Like I said, she's bringing everyone to Iowa. as we say. Four-letter word that's so hard to say for so long. My flowers go to the Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I did not see you all being this high of a seed into the All-Star break, let alone being the number 1 seed and playing extremely, extremely well basketball. And Anthony Edwards is leading that charge with Rudy and Cap. And shout out to them. And they get my flowers for today.
I like it. And of course, we got to do one more flowers, of course. Shout out to Usher for a hell of a Super Bowl performance. Shout out to Jermaine, CeeLo Green, Dupree. Shout out to Ludacris. Shout out to Lil Jon. Shout out to Alicia Keys. Shout out to Swiss Beats for being a good sport about the whole performance. But I enjoyed the performance wholeheartedly. It was one of the better performances for me just to see somebody from the South. Literally, you said it in the Super Bowl, take the A to the Super Bowl. Like, that was inspiring as hell to me. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like you can hopefully get the respect. Hip hop can get the respect it deserves in this way. And it's been far too long to where we have to pray for hip hop in the Super Bowl. And now we finally got one a couple of years ago with Dre and Fifth and M and everybody. Now we got Usher. And now it's like, you're in New Orleans now. Ain't no way in hell you can pull off this Taylor Swift bullshit that you've been trying to pull off. No way in hell. So my thing is, Trevor, you said Lil Wayne. I would love to see Lil Wayne in the Super Bowl. But would Lil Wayne have those hits to the people that matter to where he gets that call to the Super Bowl? Of course, Jay-Z will be calling him. He knows. But with Lil Wayne, I think Lil Wayne has that stature, but that's been one of the talks going around because, like, if you would have named 5 Lil Wayne tracks, would the average consumer of football, we know what we're talking about here, know those tracks?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah. You could do obviously Lollipop, the one that pretty much broke the ceiling open for him. The joint he has with T-Pain. Well, he has numerous joints with T-Pain, so he can do about 3 or 4.
That's a performance. Yeah.
Yeah,
buy your drink.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see. It's a few. I think you could really do it. I honestly think you could do it kind of like what Dre and Eminem did with that. I wouldn't necessarily say go out on the limb and just get the entire Cash Money thing, but even though he's public enemy number 1 in the city right now, if you want to have Drake do a guest appearance, you can do that. You know, it's possibilities there. I just think because it's in New Orleans, like that's like the number one. Yeah. One thing you need to do. Like I would call Lil Wayne. I would make Lil Wayne say no or whatever. Like unless he says no, he has to do it.
He's gonna say a milli. Yeah, he's gonna say he needs a milli.
Yeah.
No, good point. Good point.
See what you did there.
Just to add to what you're saying though, I think you may be mistaken too, because Lil Wayne is now with Skip Bayless pretty frequently on Fridays, right? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, he's getting that, you know, people are seeing him spotlight, what have you, and they can kind of build this up because, I mean, hey, they can make that announcement, October, November, get those streams going while he's on the show. Boom. Now, we not only do we know, but they know. So
I've never seen anybody do that.
So I'll leave it at that, man. I think that could work. It has to work, actually. There's no no ifs, ands, or buts about that one.
Yeah, the man is from New Orleans, literally born and raised in the city of New Orleans. Like I hear the Chris Browns of the world. I could hear that argument. I could hear the T-Pain argument. I'm not willing to entertain Taylor Swift. I'm good on that, my love. Lil Wayne, who's literally born and raised in the city of New Orleans, who it literally was on a podcast, I think 2 weeks ago, saying that he really wants to do it. He has not even put out the Carter 6 yet because he's really like trying to make sure that what he puts out is enough for him to get the bid for New Orleans. So I really, as a kid, as a fan, as an adult, I want Lil Wayne.
And guess what? The Super Bowl gonna be broadcast on Fox next year. So it's a layup at this point.
Yeah,
we see it, and you know who's gonna be right next. You want to know who's gonna be right next to Lil Wayne if his name ain't big enough? Chris Brown. But that's another talk for another day.
Plenty hits.
That's plenty of hits. If Wayne ain't got the hits, Chris Breeze should us, and it's New Orleans, man. Let's have some fun. Because the next two one's gonna be in California. You can bring Taylor Swift at the next one, or the one after next. But nah, let's speaking of Taylor Swift, her man got another Super Bowl ring. Shout out to all the Swifties. Shout out to the Chiefs. Shout out to GOAT Mahomes. At this point, if you doubt him, you're an idiot. At this point, I've been an idiot. I've been on the receiving end of the opposite so many times. I can't go against him anymore. And of course, he go in, beat the 49ers, Super Bowl, gentlemen. Let's get y'all reaction, recap of the Super Bowl real quick. Start with Trev, lead on then she.
Oh man, so I think we've all learned our lesson at this point, and I think we've at this point as a podcast reestablished the commandment of not picking against Patrick Mahomes. So kudos to Patrick Mahomes. There's not much we can really say there. He's probably the GOAT of this generation when it comes to a person that's playing the position of a quarterback at this point. Gotta give kudos also to the San Francisco 49ers. As I mentioned before, with my sympathy flowers to Steve Wilkes, he had one hell of a game plan for Patrick Mahomes. And to hold Mahomes to 19 points in regulation, pretty much, if you're able to do at least something remotely on offense, we're probably talking about San Francisco as Super Bowl champions here instead of the Kansas City Chiefs. But that's not how it always goes, and almost doesn't count. But man, of course, the game was slow. I'm not gonna say the game started out a little bit slow. I think it was the first time that the Super Bowl had a first quarter inning, and it was 0-0. So with that was that there. I'll get to everything else with the 49ers as we go along, because I'm gonna give some folks the other guys a chance to talk about their reaction and their recap. But kudos to the Kansas City Chiefs. And a special shout out to Juwan Jennings, who turned back his clock to the days that he was at UT and things of that nature. So, but yeah, shout out to the Chiefs. Mahomes might as well be the GOAT. He might be number 2 all time at this point, behind Brady.
Yeah, as Took and Trevor, you guys have already said. I think 2 years ago I started betting against Pat Mahomes. He has a demeanor that I don't believe many people in the league have. The biggest thing that I continued throughout that entire game is how calm he was. He never looked rattled. He never looked nervous. He never looked like, damn, like what's coming next. Trevor, to your point, like Steve Wilkes had an amazing game plan to hold Kansas City Chiefs. Now, granted, they don't have the top number. They don't have a big time like receiver. Rashee Rice is good, but I'm not sure if he's number 1 material. You got Travis Kelce, yes, check, but you don't have that number 1 like threat outside of the numbers, right? So to still hold them to 19 points of regulation, like if you're Steve Wilkes, like I did everything that I could do. I went cover 2. I played man. I played zone. I literally threw everything at him. And Pat Mahomes is like, okay, yeah, I still know where I'm going to go with the ball. I know I'm going to do this. This person's going to be open. That person's going to be open, or I can take this sack here, or I can do whatever the case may be. Dude is multi-talented. He's really, really good. He's very, very smart. But I think at the end of the day, that Chiefs defense definitely needs a whole lot more credit. Like people have talked about them, but that's the biggest thing that I saw about them. Like not even in the Super Bowl, but leading up to the Super Bowl, they're playing against the Dolphins. They shut them down. Played against the Bills, shut them down. Literally shut down Lamar Jackson, and then to shut down or limit what the 49ers could do on offense. And you talk about they have 4 or 5 all pros on that side of the offense, and to still hold them to 22 points, including overtime, is great, bro. Like McDuffie, Snead, two really good corners. I think I saw a stat where they were top. I think those 2 corners are top 5 in terms of coverage, in terms of being able to stick right next to your guy in pass coverage. And I just thought that was huge. And you saw that in the Super Bowl. Chris Jones, huge. Like, I'm sorry, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you have got to find a way to re-sign him. I don't care what you have to do. You got to re-sign him, because if you go back and watch the game, he saved about 3 touchdowns. Literally saved 3 touchdowns, and that's because he got the pressure. He was right. He was right there in the quarterback space. Quarterback didn't have time, and so that extra half a second that he does not get is the quarterback is not able to get his feet set or get his arm angle in the right place it needs to be so he can make that throw. So that Chiefs defense was great. But you got to applaud Andy Reid. You got to applaud Steve Spagnuolo, who doesn't get talked about. Really good defensive coordinator, probably one of the better defensive coordinators we've seen in our lifetime. Travis Kelce, we know everything that he comes with Taylor Swift, but dude balled in the second half. And then at the end of the day, Pat Mahomes is probably one of the best quarterbacks, if not one of the better players that I've seen, regardless of sport.
Yeah, and let's just call it what it is. We actually came from a Super Bowl that had 2 of the better defensive coordinators right now in the game, to be honest. If you look back at that first half, the only reason that the 49ers scored was that it was a halfback toss pass to the quarterback, to Christian McCaffrey. Like, without that, it would have been like 3-3 or maybe 6-3. And let's not forget the turnovers, ladies and gentlemen. Multiple turnovers. And then in the first half, multiple turnovers from C-Mac, turnovers from Pacheco, both within the red zone. Both teams were going to get ready to score. But again, back to the defense. Defense making those strips tackles and saving themselves. So, and look, I talked about Chris Jones last week. Thank you for bringing him right back up, because I said that he was going to be a force. And sure enough, he has been and always will be, if you ask me. And he should be signed for a big deal. If you look back at what the Chiefs have done defensively, even going back to the Raiders game, which is, I think, their last loss, I believe, was to the Raiders. And let's be real. They didn't lose that because their defense wasn't there. They lost that because of pick sixes and special teams. It wasn't because of their defense. So kudos to the Chiefs. Kudos to everyone on the Chiefs staff. And shout out to the 49ers, except for Kyle Shanahan. I really don't like the scapegoating. We'll talk about that later with Steve, because, again, I mentioned turnovers. You had 2 turnovers, offensive coordinator. You call the plays. You couldn't score on those. You get into the red zone. You got to kick the field goal. And to me, this game was similar to the NFC Championship, whereas the 49ers were running the ball down the throat in the first half. Second half comes out, not so much. And you can give that to the Chiefs, yes, but I think the 49ers could have done better with running the ball. At the end of the day, they missed the extra point. That's what cost the overtime, to be honest. And overall, the better team won. I don't want to. There's no more excuses about I didn't know the rules, by the way. I don't want to hear that. That's not an excuse, because in the game of football, your job is to stop the ball regardless of the rules. That's the job. There is no other rule in football that you need to be worried about besides stopping the other team from scoring and your team scoring. Those are the rules you live by. That's in any sport. So I don't want to hear, oh, well, I thought they scored it, we scored it. Screw all that. You scored a field goal, so you was ass right there. But then we down there, what was it? You gave up the 4th down, I believe, right, to Patrick Mahomes to keep scrambling. By the way, when Patrick Mahomes starts scrambling, that's when y'all need to be worried. If he's in the pocket, he's great. But when he is scrambling and in the pocket, he's exceptional, because he knows when to use his feet properly and he knows when to throw it away. His mechanics in here are impeccable. Even when you're looking at those 4 defensive linemen that the 49ers have, which I know they can't re-sign all of them. There's no way. But you got Bosa on one side, Chase Young on the other side, Armstead in the middle, and Randall Gregory. Gregory.
Yeah.
Gregory right there in the middle, jamming up and Hargrave, right? Jamming up in there. That's hard. That's difficult. No matter who your offensive tackles are, and they are not all pro offensive tackles going against Bosa, right? And so for him to be able to elude him at times, and sometimes you're not going to win every battle, but you won the war when it came to 4th down. So he knew what to do. He knew what play call to do. And by the way, that play call for 4th down was very similar to how they scored their touchdown in the overtime. That motion and then motion back out made that linebacker have to chase Travis Kelce out. So now you got 2-on-1 where Mahomes will use his feet, get the first down. Same thing happened again for OT. Motion back out, touchdown. They never learn. Is it Steve Wilkes' fault? No. It's a defensive mindset. You have to be better than the player that you're lining up in front of. Again, the game of football is you stop the other team from scoring and you score. No other rules do you need to be worried about.
I appreciate y'all football heads because at the end of the day, whenever I see Patrick Mahomes, I'm pretty sure he got his own theme song at this point. Pretty sure it sounds like this. Anytime you see Patrick Mahomes, I'm pretty sure this is what's going on. Like, come on, man.
All right, bro. We can't get copyrighted.
No, we're going to get copyrighted, man. I know what I'm doing. But no, man, Pat Mahomes got his own theme song. He in his own zone. Like, that's him, man. That's him. He gonna be in the Super Bowl probably again because that incredible as defense y'all have already talked about. They got to get Chris Jones back. Like y'all said, they got to get Chris Jones about. She don't look at me like that because we've seen Patrick Mahomes go to the Super Bowl with B talent at C talent. Really, you know how he went to the championship with no names last year. That's what Pat Mahomes did outside of course Travis Kelce. Like, come on, man. So you get them just effect, this much help on offense. You re-sign Chris Jones. They'll be back, and I'm going to be playing this on next year episode around this time. So
it's the Brady effect with Mahomes, man. It's like when he's on the field, like no matter what situation is, it seems like the ball is going to always bounce the Kansas City Chiefs way, regardless if Mahomes is quarterbacking or not. Just regardless of what's happening. It seems like everything is just gonna go the Chiefs' way, and that's crazy and that's scary.
Yeah, and to add on what Tashidi said, and I think to kind of piggyback off what Trevor said as well, the reason why I feel like we feel as if like the ball always bounces in the Chiefs' way or the Chiefs always get the better end of the stick is because they're always prepared, right? Yep. Like you talk about like. So Kyle Shanahan was like, well, analytics said that we should be able to get the ball back, which is why I kicked it. So the Kansas City Chiefs was like, first of all, you don't even hear a single person from the Kansas City Chiefs said, I didn't know the rule. They knew the rule. They prepared for that particular moment. And to that point, I think somebody from the Chiefs was saying, they were on a podcast and they said something about even if the 49ers scored, the Chiefs said they weren't getting the ball back. Why? Because when we scored a touchdown, we're going for 2. So I believe, Sheeta, to your point, that touchdown call, that would have been their going for 2 play call. And I swear to God, exactly what you said, Sheeta. I've seen that play call. I swear, was it not in the playoffs? Or in the Super Bowl last year against the Eagles?
The Super Bowl.
Something very. I'm like, I saw him running most. I said, bro, he's not coming back across that line. And he hiked the ball and he came right back out. I said, damn it. So like it's one of those that like you as a coach, you as a team have to be prepared for anything, especially when you're playing the Chiefs. And don't give me this BS or we didn't know the rule. Like that's just total BS. And that just again for me, I heard that and I said you weren't prepared for the moment. The Kansas City Chiefs were. They knew exactly where they were going to do. It's if like it was scripted for them. They knew exactly where they were going to do. They knew exactly what play calls they were going to run. And for you as a 49er, you as a football player, for you to come out and say that like after a Super Bowl loss, and you say I didn't know the rule, you just weren't prepared for the moment. I would rather you say that versus I didn't know the rule.
Yeah, it was just one of those moments. Like I ain't gonna lie, bro. It was one of the worst first halves I ever seen. Thank God for the Usher performance. I definitely want to hear y'all thoughts on that one. But after the performance, I said, hold on, bro. What's the bad odds for the Chiefs to come back? Triple my money? I'm going to throw that down. At that point, at halftime, they were losing. I'm like, they finna win. So in all honesty, I appreciate y'all football heads because y'all were able to go digest the game and go into it. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. Because once I put my bet in, I was like, I'm done with this shit.
The Chiefs were down, but I saw it like in my head play out. I was like, the Chiefs, they get the ball to start the second half. They're going to come out. They're going to score a touchdown. And then they just going to rock from there. It's up to the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan to continue to keep things rolling. And man, this is like the third time we've mentioned this for Kyle Shanahan for going away from what worked. So that's where we need to start pointing our fingers and looking our eyes at Kyle Shanahan. Because bro, this is the third time you've been in the Super Bowl. You've been able to establish the run, and for some reason you go away from the run. Like the fact that I don't remember Christian McCaffrey getting a touch in the third quarter. I don't think he got another touch. He didn't get that many touches until like in the second half to in the fourth quarter and in overtime. So I get it. Yeah, he had the costly fumble, but that is what got y'all to that situation. Like, why are you going away from the ball? I think, again, to Skyler's point, and I always quote this. He started overthinking. Started thinking, got the whole issue, the whole thing with Brock Purdy and things of that nature. And we'll get to I guess we'll get to it later because I think y'all owe Cam Newton an apology.
Ain't no think about it.
Because as I said, I think I said it a couple of weeks ago for the AFC Championship, like when you're playing against the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, you have to know exactly what you're going to do, and you have to beat Mahomes. You can't
expect them to give it to you.
Yeah, you can't expect them to give it to you, and you literally have to go and get it. So one of the things that kind of surprised me actually going into the overtime, and I guess it goes into them not knowing the rules, is the fact that they took the ball for that. San Francisco took the ball first. Like, you're going to get a possession. Like, let Mahomes do what he does, and then, but that shows you once again.
Do you want that kind of pressure on Brock?
But hold on.
You want that kind of pressure on Brock?
No, to the point that Trevor is making though. Whenever do people take the ball first? Even when the game first starts,
I don't need to take the ball first.
Most teams, a great percentage of teams are going to say, "Oh, we're going to
the first and second half." Yeah.
So in overtime, it would be the same. To your point, Trevor, it's the same thing. I'm going to defer. I'm going to wait. I'm going to let them see how good they are because I'm trusting my defense first.
Mm-hmm.
The 49ers went into that saying, "Yes, we're going to call tails, and yes, we want the ball." Okay, and then what? Mahomes is already on a heater. You want to keep that man on the heater, and the defense is also on a heater as well, playing well. That's really what you wanted. That's your call, Kyle Shanahan, not Steve Wilkes' call, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Bingo.
But I to that point, I kind of in a way respect it though, because you don't want to. Let's say the Chiefs do get the ball first, and Pat Mahomes does score. Well, you putting that pressure on Brock Purdy, who's the game manager.
But
he probably don't even score it out.
Hold on.
But regardless, the pressure's on Brock Purdy regardless.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So it's over regardless, but at least you give yourself somewhat of a fighting chance. Let's say the 49ers kick a field goal and their defense actually stop Mahomes. Well, they Super Bowl champs. So, I mean, they lose regardless because you don't bet against Mahomes.
I honestly would have gotten the ball last because your defense had been playing pretty much a hell of a game. Like Patrick Mahomes didn't really get going until the fourth. Yeah. So trust your defense.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, trust your defense there that you can maybe force a 3-and-out, and then the pressure is still on Brock Purdy to get it done, but it's not even.
I'm sorry. It's not even on Brock Purdy because let's not act as if Brock Purdy slowed out. It's on Kyle Shanahan. That ain't, in my opinion, Brock Purdy played about as good as he can play. If you're going to ask Mr. Irrelevant to come into the Super Bowl and win and go head-to-head with Pat Mahomes, Cuz did it. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. The pressure was not on Brock Purdy. The pressure was on Kyle Shanahan, and he folded yet again. That was the issue.
And now
Touche.
No, couldn't hold water, boy.
Of course, I talked about it a little bit. I told y'all 8.5 out of 10 for me as far as a halftime performance. Y'all got any thoughts on the halftime performance? We'll go Sheedy first, lead on. Sheedy first, lead on. Trev.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll also give it an 8 out of 10. I think that what Usher did was exactly what he needed to do. It wasn't so much the halftime performance. It was the amount of us that streamed him and his albums afterwards and bought tickets or looked to see how much tickets were for afterwards. This was one of the greatest promotions I've seen in a very, very long time, to the point where tickets are sold out everywhere and you gotta wait for the resale tickets right now. And so
I'm sorry, Shitty, because I was just laughing because Kanye still went number 1 on Apple Music.
Yeah, Apple Music, but stream wise,
Apple Music though, but streaming overall though,
streaming and ticket sales. Overall,
he had a commercial.
I'm going to give it to Usher and what he's done, because he's going to make a lot more money from doing that. And I think he took like pennies to the dollar to do the performance.
600.
Yeah, shout out to the Boss Baby up there. Boss Baby, you get it. Shout out to her as well, being up there with that guitar. Whether or not she was playing on tune or not, who cares? Yes, Lil Jon was up there. Ludacris always has to come with his fro out. Thank you, Luda. But yeah, again, and also shout out to Boss Baby, because no one cared about Boss Baby until this performance, and then looked at their socks. So 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
We're not gonna disrespect her like that. No, you tripping.
No, nothing much that I need to add to that. Really, really great performance. Like, to the point to where, like, those that I was watching the Super Bowl with, was like, everybody shut up, everybody sit down. Like, this is going to be a good performance. And and Cuz delivered like everything that you could have asked for in a performance, in a Super Bowl performance. Usher did it. Shitty talked about the guests that he brought out. Her, Boss Baby, JD, Lil Jon, Ludacris with it was Ludacris with the fro that did it for me. It was the Ludacris with the fro, bro. It wasn't the Brady one. It was the like, oh yeah, that's the Ludacris that we all know and love. So no, man, that was a really great performance. It was even kind of funny that I saw some people on Twitter was like, well, since we're going to overtime, can we get more of a Usher performance? Like that? And that's how you know Cuz killed it. Like, everything was great. The choreography was great. Shout out to the Memphis Connects that were in there. He had somebody from Memphis. DJ was in there for sure.
DJ.
A lot of people did not talk about that piano that Alicia Keys played on was bad, bro. I don't know if I've ever seen a piano that looked really good. But nonetheless, really great performance. I'm happy for him.
It's because we weren't paying attention to the piano. We were paying attention to the key, and we're not talking about Alicia. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We were still stuck on their first note when she she kind of messed up. So I think that's what happened there. Man, I ain't got much to add on the Super Bowl.
Y'all funny, man.
Keep it short and sweet. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. I like it. Yeah. Y'all funny. Well, why? I know damn well I went there. I said, hold on, CeeLo out there. How's CeeLo doing? I was like, oh, that's Jermaine Dupri. Shout out to Jermaine, but damn, you like CeeLo. That was funny.
It would be remiss if we did not shout out the mighty sound of Jackson State University.
Absolutely,
actually,
they bossed that too. Man, they going crazy.
Yeah,
good one, of course.
And this also we're supposed to shout out to the Kappas.
I mean, I was just about to do that because I ain't a hater. Shout out to Kappa Beta. Shout out to the little bro DJ, man. You did your thing, make Memphis proud, bro. That's the most they're gonna get out of me right there. All right. Commercials. Of course, I feel like this year's commercials were ass. But there were a couple of favorites. Of course, the Deadpool commercial. I appreciate it. Of course, I can't wait to see that in theaters. The Kanye West commercial spent $7 million on an iPhone recording, but he ended up getting like 19 mil off of his sales. So that's why I was just laughing. You talking about all of Usher. I'm like, Kanye had a good weekend himself. So shout out to Black Excellence again. And of course, I don't know if y'all watch Suits or not, but it's crazy on Netflix. Of course, it's been on TV before Netflix, but the Suits commercial with Judge Judy, I was like, damn, I can appreciate that one. So those definitely one of my favorite 3 commercials.
Yeah, man. The commercials are kind of, taking the toll for the worst at this point. Ever since the cost of a 30-second ad on the Super Bowl has jumped up. I'm not sure where it is right now, but once it crossed the $1 million threshold, I was like, oh yeah, this is not looking good. It's all about the movie trailers now, man. It's about whatever movie is coming out later on in the year. To Two's point, the Deadpool Wolverine jump, which we've probably been waiting on for years. Let's see. That was probably the only one. Oh, the one that you just mentioned with Suits. Those probably were my only two, man. And then of course Kanye. So I wasn't really paying attention to the commercials like that unless it was a movie trailer that I was actually interested in, because the commercials have not, been hidden as they were in the past.
I just want to give a shout out to Timu, or however you're supposed to pronounce it. I think if nothing else, I learned that Timu is not the way you're supposed to pronounce the company. And for them to spend money on
They
a Super
did.
Bowl ad was crazy. So I'm not sure which one of y'all's money that they used for the jump, but but Timu definitely appreciates
What?
it.
Wasn't mine, because I ain't bought nothing from them.
Hey, I'm posting the opposite. All right, guys, we're gonna go all or nothing for the Super Bowl. All right, get whatever you can. If you need to fire anybody, let's fire, but all or nothing. All right.
Right. And
Nah,
Siphon to be
shout out
shut
to
down in
them.
6 months because they went bankrupt.
Cause the shipping all mess up, bro. I hate
Not
that
for
shit.
real.
Oh shit.
I don't think commercial. I mean, it's going to be a little bit off track of what we're all discussing right now, commercial based. But the amount of commercials that were about God was like, wow. Like I haven't, to the point of, you made, Trevor, like how much it costs for commercials to come around the Super Bowl, but to see multiple commercials about that was just a blessing to see, to be honest. And my other part of this too is, when I'm thinking about these commercials, is it's time to start putting newer blood into those commercials. I saw a lot of old blood that I don't need to keep seeing. I mean, if you're over 50, 60, like, okay, there's no other actors that could have done this and been okay with. So I'll leave it with that. But again, shout out to God at all times for showing up even during the Super Bowl, even when Patrick needs him.
Yep.
Like a good neighbor. Like, come on, bro. Come on, dog. Like, and I think to your point, Sheeta, the black dollar is starting to get recognized more. So we would see more, talent coming towards us and for us, more advertisement for us. Like I said, to the extent of even seeing Nucky V Buck in the Knuckles trailer, like, I mean, it's coming around. But, the NFL is just the no fun league. Like, they're going to take forever to finally come around. But I think next Super Bowl, they get a chance to actually do that. Yeah, Jesus was active. Jesus was active, all them commercials, man. And shout out to the women commercials, too. It was a lot. It was more often did I see women commercials in the Super Bowl. So I think they're trying to reel in that dollar as well. And they knew, of course, women was watching because of the Taylor Swift effect, which that's probably the last time I mentioned this today on this podcast, but it did matter. Like Taylor Swift and the NFL partnering, it was like a match made in heaven because it worked. It literally worked from either the Super Bowl, the games, even airlines would change their names to like just different shit. So again, shout out to the women. We love you. But all the women commercials, I think we'll be seeing more and more because women love football. It's starting to seem as women love football. It's just as much as the guys. And if not, they'll be spending times with their husbands in the Super Bowl anyway. So why not advertise something for them? So I mean, it's just smart. It's just super smart. What's next? Oh yeah. Steve Wilkes, of course, let go of the Panthers. That was the first scapegoat move. And then of course another bum ass move in the media was everybody criticizing Cam Newton on what he said about, Brock Purdy and, the Jared Goffs and Dax and the Tuas. And he was right. I ain't got to say nothing about my forever QB1. Gentlemen, I'm going to let y'all have it. But, of course, the whole game changer, game manager, do y'all feel like the media should give Cam Newton an apology? And do you think the media will give that apology to Cam Newton? Let's start with Lito. I want to hear what you got about it first, Lito. She did an intro.
I think the biggest thing that Cam Newton is definitely owed an apology. But I think what people need to do and understand what they need to do is actually go back and listen to the entire podcast. Like they took his name calling to say who's a game manager, who's a game changer, and then just kind of like ran with that. But then there's always context always matters. And there was things that were said before that particular statement and then after that, which makes you say, okay, like, did he say anything bad? Did he call anybody out in particular, right? And so even from that, like, there's nothing wrong with being a game manager in football. There's nothing wrong with it. Why? Because Patrick Mahomes was a game manager in the AFC Championship game. Literally was a game manager. Like there was nothing special that Pat Mahomes did. All he did was just take care of the ball, which there's nothing wrong with it. So yeah, people owe him an apology. And I think he said something key on First Take. I guess the week leading into the Super Bowl, which he says something about like I only have 60 minutes or 90 minutes to talk about everything that's in sports versus people like Stephen A, people like Skip. You get multiple hours throughout the day to not only say what you want to say, but then if you need to clean it up, then there's avenues or there's ways for you to go back and clean it up. He said, I only get I'm not sure how often he records, but he was saying these big time people, these people that are sports analysts or people that are getting paid to talk about sports, they have multiple times throughout the day to say what they want to say and or clean it up versus he doesn't, right? So I think he's definitely owed an apology, and people need to really start to listen to everything that someone is saying versus grabbing a snippet or grabbing just a soundbite and then running with it.
Watch how I do this. To the point that you just made, Skylar, a snippet and not hearing the whole show, right? We're talking about Cam Newton, fourth one. By the way, I love the little how he does that. Love that. The same way that Cam Newton is owed an apology, this man will be owed an apology. This man will be owed an apology because what he said about the Memphis Grizzlies and the playoffs. But if you only heard that part, you were outraged. You were upset. You said everything. He was everything but a child of God. However, when you go back and listen to the podcast in its totality, he explained why the Memphis Grizzlies would not make the playoffs. And ladies and gentlemen, it's February 17th.
I ain't heard a goddamn thing, Shitty. I ain't got no mentions. I ain't got no DMs. I ain't got nothing. Nothing. I'm on y'all asses. I'm on their asses. I'm on them.
I'm just being,
and I appreciate that. I appreciate.
I'm just being honest here because all we do is clickbait, but it's clickbait to make you actually go and listen to it in its entirety, not to just listen to a part and then revel on that part as if that was the entire show. Like you said, everything has context to it. There's a reason why he said the things that he did. Brock Purdy is what he is. You brought it up earlier, Skylar. Brock Purdy did the best that he could with what he had talent-wise within himself. He did have all-pro talent. His left tackle, who also cost them a costly first down, by the way, costly first down on 2nd and 17, I believe, got a holding penalty when Greg Kittle got the first down. Then they had to eventually punt, I believe, after that. But he did the best that he could. He is not an elite quarterback. He is not going to be mentioned in the Mahomes factor, because if he was mentioned in the Mahomes factor, we would be talking him not making the $900,000 or however much he's making right now. They would have signed that man to an extension halfway through the season if they could have. So again, context matters. Don't just click on something, listen to it for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Be ready to listen to it for an hour and 30 minutes, and then give your actual take on it in its entirety.
And don't call grown men witches with a capital B. Like, that's just messed up, bro. And that hurt my heart. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But yeah, to everyone's point, I think everyone does owe Cam Newton an apology. To what everyone else has said, Brock Purdy did the best that he could with what he had to put the 49ers in position to win. It just didn't happen. I still think he's a big time game manager, but I could actually go out on the limb and say that he's probably the perfect guy for what Kyle Shanahan wants to run. And you can kind of tell just a tad bit that Kyle Shanahan trusts him to make plays a little bit more than he did in the past when he had Jimmy Garoppolo as his quarterback. And as much as we give Kyle Shanahan his flack, which is well-deserved, Matt Ryan has an MVP because of Kyle Shanahan. So let's just, if we really want to keep it a buck, we'll keep it a buck there. But what to everyone's point to where everyone is saying, man, clickbait is clickbait for us to consume the entire product, not just that short little clip and then just take it and run with it. So but yeah, y'all definitely owe Cam Newton an apology, because just like y'all called him everything but a child of God. And then to go out and to belittle Cam's career like Cam wasn't an MVP and wasn't that dude for his time in Carolina. That I just felt that was disrespectful, because honestly and truthfully, Cam could have just said what he said and just left it alone. But the fact that he had to come out and address everything, and I'm glad that he did, which was so. Hey, that's that there, man. It's crazy.
Trev, you know one of our quotes, bro. Any publicity is good publicity. And
Facts.
I'm pretty sure Cam Newton, as far as his this part of his life, and he actually talked about on his last pod, as far as like being able to not be on the field, but being able to take that what he called demon time energy and put it into his podcast and then into media, and like everybody's loving him so far. And to have this moment of him throwing out something that we call quote unquote clickbait, but be right about it, it's like, okay, now you might want to tap in more into what this man got to say. Outside of the fact that he was an MVP for 2 seasons, he was arguably the best player in the game. For me personally, like he's a top 10 quarterback of all time, but just me seeing what he had to do and what he did with nothing. The man had nothing. So everybody talking about his stats, and they talking about, for reference, I would rather the receivers that Patrick Mahomes had this year than what we had in Carolina the Super Bowl year. Yes, it was that bad. It was that bad. That's what he's
wait a minute. Is that Steve Smith? Was Steve Smith?
No. I'm saying when we went to the Super Bowl. When we went to the Super Bowl, those receivers. No. Y'all know 89, my GOAT. Like, come on now. No. That's not good. But I'm saying, like, just to make reference, like the Chiefs receivers who are better than the Ted Gins who would drop balls. Gerald Cotchery, who was actually consistent, so I'll let him back. Kelvin Benjamin, bum ass, missed the whole season, tearing his ACL, coming out of shape. Devin Funchess was inconsistent. Shout out to Greg Olsen. But it's like, who is he throwing the ball to? But everybody on media talking about his stats. Okay, cool. Whatever, bro. Whatever. So again, shout out to Cam Newton. Y'all owe my man an apology. We gonna keep it pushing at that. Y'all got anything else, sir?
Nah, we can keep it moving.
We keep it moving. All right. For the sake of timing, of course, we definitely have some more topics, but we'll get into the next week. And I think it'll be better for next week as well. But let's get into what we got, man. Trolling, would you rather's. Let's end this the right way, man. We started on a positive note. Let's do the same thing.
I have a would you rather.
Would you rather?
My would you rather comes from the biggest rumor that was or was not about the Golden State Warriors calling LeBron James. So very randomly, I just sat here and thought about, would you rather be the Golden State Warriors today or the LA Lakers today, and trying to figure out what am I trying to say? Would you rather be the Golden State Warriors and or would you rather be the Lakers in determining who's going to have the better franchise in the next 3 to 4 years? Who would you rather be?
Okay. Damn. So which franchise would you rather be a part of over the next 3 to 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Ooh.
Shit. You should have warned us on this one.
Yeah, I'll take a stab at it first. I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Lakers. My mentality about this for the next 3 to 4 years is such. The Lakers are a big market. Mm-hmm. People want to come to LA to play in those bright lights. The Lakers aren't done after this season. We all know that. They're still, if LeBron is still playing, they're still going to try to add another player that will be there for the longevity after he leaves with AD. Spider, Trey, who knows? So I think that is the better move as opposed to Golden State, who I believe still needs to get more like a bigger guy. I mean, Draymond is there, of course, and he's holding down with Nurkic and such. But in the next 3 to 4 years, I believe that the Lakers' name will be mentioned more in terms of championship contending than the Warriors. Now, if you ask me this question, a couple years ago, this is the Warriors, all about the Warriors. And it's just the pendulum swings in basketball. That's just what it is. So to me, I'm gonna go on a limb and say LA because I think AD is still gonna be there for the next 3 to 4 years as well.
I think AD will be there for the next 3 to 4 years. I don't think LeBron will be there for the next 3 to 4 years. And I think that Steph Curry will be a Warrior for the rest of his career. Last game, we saw Klay Thompson actually go to the bench, come from the bench. And what do I see that working out? Nah, I'm pretty sure he'll be a starter by the end of the season. But what I'm saying is, if the Warriors were willing to make a move for LeBron, which LeBron and Rich Paul declined, by the way, that means they are big fish hunting. I'm one of the ones that believe Kevin Durant shouldn't have left Golden State, but at the same time, I get it. But they are big fish hunting. And for me to see that report, and like I said, for Rich Paul and LeBron to decline it, it's like they trying to still maximize the next 3 to 4 years of Steph's career, which would probably be the better part of his prime or the ending of his prime. So I'm gonna roll with my Warriors.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Warriors as well. I think they have more more future assets and a lot of players that are like starting to come along slowly with Kuminga. Unfortunately, he hasn't been getting much time. Moses Moody, Pods has been playing pretty well. So if they really wanted to kind of get back in the hunt, really, they could just make a few moves here and there. To your point, Sheedy, they need to sign a big. Chris Paul is still on this roster, so I'm pretty sure they're going to look to possibly get rid of him, get rid of that contract in some shape or form. The Lakers mortgage their future pretty much just to win now. And in those 3 and 4 years, I think, to Tuke's point, I don't think LeBron's going to be there. And I think all those picks that they gave up to try to build the team that they have now is going to eventually come back and bite them. So, yeah, give me the Warriors.
Good points. That was a good ass question, bro.
Yeah.
Who would you be?
That's a tough one. I think I'm only going with the Lakers based off of history. That's the only reason I'm going with the Lakers, because throughout the decades that the NBA has existed, somehow, some way, the Lakers are always there. They may not win a championship. There may be seasons here or there where they're 20 games below 500 or 30 games below 500 in the Kobe era, in the Kobe times. But then there's always going to be a year or 2 or 3 where they're at least contending and or win a championship. And from that standpoint, I'm going with the Lakers because there's this weird feeling that I keep having. I feel like LeBron got one more in him. And I may be completely wrong. I may be completely wrong in that, but I promise you, I think he has one more in him, and I think that one more is in LA.
I feel that too. Okay.
I
like it. Trev, I know you had some.
Yeah, I had a would you rather. We're gonna have some fun with this one. Because I just my thing was stand up Memphis, and as you all know, the Tigers have been struggling a tad bit lately. And but before I actually get to my would you rather, I'm gonna bring some context to this. So I'm gonna share my screen here and just play this video, and then I'll be right back with this. So just give me a second.
Oh shit.
With things that you haven't prayed for. How many times has he lifted you off your feet when you didn't ask him to? That's how you know you deserve it. That's how you know that you are worthy. That's how you know that Jesus died on the cross for our sins and gave us the victory. He already gave it to you. So receive it. Pastor already gave it to us, but you got to receive it. Pastor already did an amazing job with this sermon, but you have to take it upon yourself and chew on it. You have to eat it. Okay, we are called not to be lukewarm. Let's be hot. Let's be on fire for Jesus.
Okay, happy Sunday.
All right, so would you rather sit through a Tigers game with the way that they've been playing right now, or sit through a Jameis Winston sermon?
That's what I was like, man, they look for me. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, what's the question?
I played the fifth.
Would you rather sit through a Tigers game, given the way that they've been playing recently, or sit through a Jameis Winston sermon?
I would rather sit through a Jameis Winston sermon, but can he please put that big ass kid down? That key was way too big for him to be to be held while he was sending out the invitation for those to come to God. So I would much rather sit through a Jameis Winston sermon than a recent Memphis Tiger basketball game. Trevor, you got to chill on trolling me right now.
I guess I'll take the same because I haven't been to both or either one, so I could care less. And I'm not missing anything by missing the Tigers basketball games, by the way.
I guess roll with Jameis Winston and, work with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? If anything, it'll be comedy and entertaining. You know what I'm saying? At least my time and, my spiritual body will be healed in some aspects, because it's like when you see somebody singing, but they singing for the Lord, so you really can't check them because they singing for the Lord. That's kind of like what I just saw. We're not supposed to.
You can check them respectfully. Like there's a Christian way of checking them if they can't sing. I'm surprised.
It's called let him use you. When you got to check somebody in church,
you say let him use you. Well, take your time. Take your time.
Hey, the Lord used Winston, and cool.
I get it, man. I'm surprised. I'll make this a queen.
You are not surprised. You are not surprised.
I am surprised, honestly, because I thought you was going to defend your Tigers.
You can only defend somebody for so long.
I'm sitting through the sermon. That's crazy. Wow, I was highly surprised there. Not going to even lie there. So yeah, ain't nothing wrong with praising the Lord there. So hey, give me Jameis Winston sermon.
I thought you was gonna go somewhere else with that, Trevor. With the when you brought up the Memphis Tigers. I thought the Grizzlies. That's where I thought it was gonna go.
I definitely didn't see Jameis Winston preaching was not on my bingo card for the game. I'll tell you
that. Nah, man. But shout out to the Grizzlies for being the Bucks.
Shout out to the Grizzlies for being
another no-name team.
Shout out to the Grizzlies for being a beacon of hope in the city right now. So,
oh man,
if I'm not mistaken, ain't Glenn Rivers 3-7 right now since taking over the Bucks for the Bucks as the Bucks head coach?
After Sunday, he's gonna be 3-8. He's gonna be 3-8 coaching Buck players.
That car ain't nobody play with.
Oh, dude, somebody gonna take the football from him. You said what?
He's coaching the All-Star team?
Yeah.
The East.
Yeah, the East. Yes, bro. It's happening. It's happening. Whatever secret society handshake that Doc is doing to these people, it's working. He's there.
All right.
He is there.
Quick one. I know Sheedy did give them their flowers earlier, but we've had our reservations. But who would you rather play for, Chris Finch or Doc Rivers? Quickly.
Who's on my team?
No, you got the team that you got now.
I'm rather with the Timberwolves. Easy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll take Finch, but Finch ain't been past the first round. That's the problem. So Finch.
I played the fifth again. It's a lose, cuz.
Oh man, I don't have one, Sheedy. You got one, man. Y'all funny. Y'all funny today, man. Definitely need to laugh. All right, let's wrap it up there, man.
That's what she said.
Nah, hey, yo, man. Shout out to Jameis Winston and getting people to follow the Lord, man. That's what we need in life more. But shout out, shout out to my mom. Happy birthday, Mom. I freaking love you. Shout out to the gang. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody checking us out. Shout out to the gang. Shout out to the network. Make sure you follow us, LBR _media on Twix. 3 the Hardaway. Of course, we won't be recording next week, but we will be back next week. Shout out to the Jeans Report. I know, right? I don't mind it, but we got the All-Star game to watch and all that stuff.
That's my problem. It ain't that y'all taking off. It's you saying going to enjoy the All-Star game, but go off.
Which I'll probably. I mean, in all reality, I'm still gonna be on 2K.
Big shout out to my guy Prodigy who's checking in right now. That's the guy that I used to be playing with on 2K on my videos and things of that nature. So Big shout out to Prodigy. What's good, man? Glad you was able to stop through for a little bit. So yeah, that's that.
I got yes, sir. Appreciate the love. Make sure you again follow 3 the Hardaway. Jeans Report is out, and of course the Jump Pass Pod with Ryan Harris officially out, episode 1. Y'all go support the game, man. Y'all go support us, rock with us. Of course, we on a high trajectory, as Ryan will put in. We appreciate those words. Of course, y'all can follow yours truly at Tev Shakir on Twix, Instagram, everything but Threads.
I'm at _Scully. Nothing about that has changed.
I'm at the Art of Trevor. Of is a preposition. Of course, you know what not to do with that. Don't worry, I'm not gonna share no more Jameis Winston sermons. But yeah, I'm at the Art of Trevor.
I say go for it. I say go for it. I say go for it, bro. We need more healing, man. We need it.
Just put that big ass kid down, bro.
That's facts. That's facts.
That is facts.
Maybe the kid was getting blessed, and when you put the hands on him, he had to catch him. I was just trying to think of any other way why.
Maybe context matters. Maybe we need to go see the
see the clickbait. See the clickbait. See, it's really shitty, man. I'm done with y'all now.
All right, man. Y'all have a good day. Again, appreciate y'all checking us out. Let's go enjoy these All-Star festivities for what they are, and yeah, y'all be great in life. Y'all be blessed out here. Peace.